Hello, this is Eugene, and this is my final concept map. During this project, I portrayed leadership as a growing tree, whereby the seed represents the leader and the soil nutrients represent the followers. So, leadership is the process whereby an individual, a seed, influences a group of people, soil, and other resources to achieve a common goal, which is growth and development. So in this seed part, we have leader-centric approaches. At this point, the seed is considered to be the growth and to be the source of growth and development. Leader-centered approaches are trait approach, skills approach, and behavior approach. So trait approach goes hand in hand with the great man theory, which states that people have fixed innate characteristics to be leaders, that leaders can be made. And it can be applied in some contexts, but it's not needed in others. So contrary to the trait approach, the skills approach focuses on the leader personalities that can be developed and learned. And those can be learned and developed in career experiences and environmental influences. So the behavioral approach is different from others because it focuses on what the leader do and how they act. So we have two kinds of behaviors of leaders: task behavior, which concerns with goals, and relationship behaviors, which concerns with people. And it can be applied everywhere. So leaders combine uh, both concern for results and concern for people to make these types of management. So the second part represents the seed and followers, which are the approaches which are leader-centric but focuses mostly also on the followers. We also have some follower-centric approaches. Here, at this point of the process, the seed and the nutrient are responsible to achieve the common goal. So some leader-centric approaches are transformational leadership and authentic leadership, and follower-centric approach, which is servant leadership. Transformational leadership focuses on how the leaders inspire their followers, which is different from transactional leadership, where the leader inspires their followers through prizes and rewards. It can be applied everywhere as well. So we have four factors, four I's, and for transactional leadership, it's just influencing lead followers by giving them rewards. Authentic leadership emphasizes building the leader's legitimacy through honest relationships with followers. And we have four components which are developed as well by critical events. So it can be applied everywhere, but also it helps the leader to know what is the right thing to do, such as being honest with themselves and others, and also if they are making a positive impact in their organization. So servant leadership is a follower-centric approach, and it portrays how leaders serve first, serve before leading. And these are the characteristics of servant leader, and it requires three conditions: antecedent conditions, these which influence the behaviors of the leaders, and also we have outcomes after applying those behaviors to followers. And it can be applied everywhere in any context. So at this level, we have the follower and the relationship they have with each, the leader with their relationship with each follower. We have LMX theory. So the followers are divided in two groups: those willing to work more than their job descriptions, which are in groups, and out groups, which do nothing more than their prescribed organizational roles. But leaders strive to make outgroup members in groups by offering them opportunities and new roles. So they strive to make this relationship, this dyadic relationship between leader and the follower. So LMX can be used everywhere, but it's best used where there is a tension between members of the organization because there is an equal treatment of people by the leader. So at this point, we have weather and other stress. These represent the approaches where the leader has to adapt to the stress or to the situations. Um, Leadership approaches that require the leader to adjust to the context are adaptive leadership, situational leadership approach, and path goal theory. Adaptive leaders encourage followers to adapt to changes and challenges. Uh, and we have technical challenges and adaptive challenges. So for technical challenges, if they are technical, the leader uses their skills to solve those challenges. But they are technical and adaptive challenges, the leader have to use their behaviors, all these 6 behaviors, to have an adaptive work. And it can be used everywhere, especially when the organization is encountering changes. Also, this is uh, situational leadership, and it says that different situations requires a different kind of leadership. To be an effective leader, a person or leader has to adapt to their style to the demands of different situations. This approach can be applied everywhere. Also, there are directive and supportive behaviors that the leader has to apply based on the situation and also based on the developmental levels, which are level of competence and level of commitment of the followers. So we have path goal, which represents the relationship between the followers, between the leader and the followers. So the relationship between the leader's style and the characteristics of the followers and the organizational setting. So here we have a path towards the goal. So the obstacle comes and the leader has the role to define the goal, clarifies the path, removes the obstacles, and provides the support. These are the main behaviors: directive, supportive, participative, and achievement oriented, which gives the motivation to followers to achieve this goal. It can be used everywhere in order to help the followers to overcome their challenges and the obstacles. So these are not theories per se, but they influence how the leader leads and how they are perceived. Uh, there are leadership ethics. The leadership ethics represent the morals and values the leaders have, which influences how they are perceived in the organization. And there are levels of developing those values. Also, it's the central ethical leadership is the central because uh, it involves respecting others, serving others, showing justice, manifesting honesty, and building the community. Team leadership. In the team, the leader and followers have the common goal to achieve. Also, the leaders make decisions which, when they are good, have a good influence on the team effectiveness. And it can be used everywhere as well in the team. Also, we have gender and leadership. Gender and leadership exposes the truth that there is an invisible barrier preventing women from ascending into elite leaders. position. Also, this is the labyrinth, which discusses how women are underrepresented in elite leadership roles. This is cultural leadership, which represents the 9 dimensions of leadership, and where the leader falls here determines how they are perceived and how they lead generally. And it can be applied everywhere, although different cultural contexts require different applications of leadership styles.